This is Dan's Reviews, and we just saw the comeback of Dexter.
La pasión, la pasión, la pasión, la pasión.
Full of la passion and nostalgic moments, all building up to more nostalgic moments. So I thought it was only right and fair to do the same old intro that I've done every time we do a season review. As they reflect on their past, so will we, as we recreate the old school stuff. We learned a lot of things in this new season of Dexter. One of them being that you can just multiply and poof out of the air. And we then have the same character.
Hey, fuck off!
Surprise, motherfucker.
And there were a lot of surprise motherfuckers.
What do you think?
This is Dexter Resurrection, Season 1. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for Dexter Resurrection. This one's going to be doing my full season review for Dexter Resurrection Season 1. We have finally finished the first season of the redemption of the Dexter franchise, if you will. Dexter Resurrection Season 1. So, we did all the reviews on the channel for each individual episode, so definitely make sure to go ahead and check that out as well too. But now it's time to reflect, and now it's time to look back on this season and everything that we thought about it. So, if y'all been keeping up with the reviews, you'll know that I absolutely enjoyed the absolute hell out of this season. I really did. This was a great season. It was amazing. It was shocking. It was intense. It was nostalgic as well, too, though, and it had a lot of new elements as well that made it feel unique, and it was really good, man. It was a really good season of TV. However, it does not mean that I don't have my fair share of flaws with it, because I don't think it was perfect, but I thought it was great. I did, and I really enjoyed it, and I really cannot wait to see where Season 2 goes, because I think this is a special show that they got on their hands here. So, yeah, let's kind of jump into it. So, this season goes into so many things. I want to start with the overall story. The way that they brought Dexter back from the dead, which is not an easy task to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not easy to resurrect a character. With them explaining the whole him out in the cold, slowing his blood loss, them, you know, obviously doing the whole Angela thing, making it seem like she shot him as well, kind of getting her out of the story. Now, I think they did everything perfectly except for one thing. I wish that Angela was treated a little bit better, her character in the end. I felt like they kind of used her character as kind of like a, how could you say, like a punching bag, you know, to kind of get everything else straightened up, you know. So that was kind of a mishap for me. However, I quickly got over that when I got to see, of course, the Trinity Killer. We got to see Miguel. We got to see Harry again. And, well, Harry's just a regular this season. And then, obviously, we saw Dokes as well saying, "Surprise, motherfucker," you know. And they did a good job with it. It was really good kind of getting all those characters back. I really, in particular, kind of geeked out at seeing Dokes again, just because the guy looks the fucking same. Like, I can't help it. He looks the exact same as he did back in 2006, you know. So, it was great seeing them again. I loved the way that they explained Dexter surviving. Like I said, I wish the Angela thing was explained in a little bit of a better way, but like I said, honestly, the rest was done so well that I quickly got over that very quickly. So, afterwards, we also get the reunion with Dexter and Batista, which is one of my all-time favorite scenes between them two of all time. I mean, the way that he plays that good cop, bad cop type of vibe with him was so interesting to me. And again, he kind of had to catch him in the act, so he legally resurrected Dexter in order to do that, which I thought was insane. And Dexter is just a free man now, you know, according to him. And I thought it was interesting because, you know, his mission now, and this is kind of the big focus of the season, is that Harrison is working at this hotel, and obviously he kills the one guy that was gonna, you know, do horrible things to that woman under the influence, of course, that he drugged. And Harrison kills him, and does not exactly cover up the murder all that well. He kind of ties the bags of the, you know, kind of the thing very specifically, and, you know, obviously, this Claudette cop that we kind of get introduced to kind of kind of picks up on it right away, you know? Now, she has a very particular song, Staying Alive, which she plays all the time. Admittedly, I kind of got sick and tired of hearing it after a while. I'm going to be honest, she kind of ruined that song for me. But, yeah, so we had that, of course, and Harrison was a big focus this season, which I really want to highlight Harrison as well, too. Harrison was such an interesting character. He had his own storyline going on at the hotel. He had kind of his own family-type storyline going on with Elsa and her boy, of course. Which we had all that storyline with the landlord, him kind of, you know, not doing the right thing and stuff, and then, you know, Dexter having to handle it later on this season, which I thought was really good. But Harrison was a massive standout for me. I actually kind of have a little bit of a hot take here that I think might actually kind of surprise some folks about this one. I actually think Harrison was a little bit more of a well-written character this season than even Dexter himself. I love Dexter this season. I thought Dexter was amazing. But Harrison stood out to me this season. I don't know what it was. He just stood out to me as a really compelling and interesting character with a lot of different stuff going on. I love his loyalty to his father, you know, like, yeah, he finds out that Dexter's alive, but it doesn't take him long to stay loyal to his dad, back him up constantly, and just kind of go for it, you know what I mean, which I think is really, really cool. But yeah, now, the overall setting of this season in New York is another thing I really want to highlight. They made this feel big, and you could tell they actually filmed in New York because the budget was big. You felt that this whole season. Now, in terms of kind of the Red storyline, the Dark Passenger storyline, I really enjoyed it because I like how literal it was. It was like, yeah, literally, the Dark Passenger. He doesn't show his face, and he's the passenger to the, you know, your car drivers, so obviously that kind of makes sense. And the way they kind of explained it, the way they showed all that stuff, and then Dexter kind of being like, yeah, he stole my name, you know, and then you got Harrison, like, you know, kind of, you know, being the main issue, and then Harry's like, listen, you're here to get your son out of the bind that he's in. What are you doing going after this, you know, driver? And he's like, yeah, it's called multitasking, you know? So I thought that was pretty interesting. So he's there for Harrison, but he's also kind of there to feed his urges, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of a mixture. It's called multitasking, as Dexter said, you know? Now, I really like the way this show kind of went. The overall music was good. The vibe was good. The visuals were good. Everything worked, honestly, perfectly here for me. I thought it was all, honestly, just perfect. And then, well, obviously, the big thing that we did get this season, which is kind of a, you know, new addition, is the addition of Blessing. Now, Blessing and his family, now, I want to highlight them in particular, because I cannot count how many reviewers I've seen that said, oh, this is the filler of the season. Blessing, he's nothing, you know. I have to seriously disagree. I love Blessing, and I'm offended. Yeah, I'm offended that people say that he is a shit character. I don't understand it. Blessing is a great character. I love him. I love the actor. I love just the way he treats Dexter, you know what I mean? I love the way he responds to stuff. Like, I love the part where Dexter goes into the, you know, the apartment and stuff, and he's like, yeah, I got a rating of 4.2 on my your share driver thing. And he's like, 0.2, you know, and he just comes right out, and he's like, I have to help you fix this terrible situation, you know, like, I love him. He's freaking great. I'm so glad that he survived into season 2. Honestly, you have no idea. I'm so happy that he survived. I love when he looks at his, you know, car and he's like, you can't drive that, my friend. And he's like, why? It's disturbing, you know? He always has like that high-pitched voice, you know? I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. So, obviously, you know, you have the Harrison storyline, great. You got the Dexter storyline, him looking for him, great. You got Blessing, his family, great. And you have, obviously, the Dark Passenger storyline, which is great. Now, then we get into the bulk of this season. We get into the serial killers of the season. We have, obviously, the introduction of Leon Prater, played by the incredible Peter Dinklage, of course, and his sidekick, Uma Thurman, who plays Charlie. Charlie Brown, which is kind of funny. But they are incredible, incredible characters. In particular, Leon Prater, I'd like to highlight here. I mean, Peter Dinklage is good at anything he does, so why are we surprised? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we surprised, right? But still, he's incredible. I love him. He's a really interesting layered character that obviously lost his parents when he was young and started to feel affection from serial killers. Not only that, the serial killer that killed his parents. And he almost resonated with him. He got all this stuff out of him. And now he kind of does this for, you know, a living, basically. He gets serial killers of whatever he can and basically collects them. And they share all their stories. And they do all these jobs for him. And it's it's like a club, you know what I'm saying? It's a club of serial killers, and it's insane. Such a unique concept that Clyde and Scott, came up with. I gotta say, it was a really, really interesting and compelling idea. And I was into it from the moment it started. It was really, really good. So Peter did great as Leon. He did amazing. Obviously, we had Mia. She was another great character. I kind of felt like Mia, and this is another minor issue I had with this season, I felt like Mia's character was kind of a bit of a waste of potential because they kind of introduced her as kind of like this idea of like being a vigilante, and the fact that she kind of just looked at Dexter like an episode or two later and she was like, yeah, I just like killing because I like killing. All that story I told you, all that interesting lore, yeah, that was bullshit. I'm like, I don't know how I felt about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how I felt about that. I felt like for Christian Ritter, they could have done her a little bit better. But, she played the character well, though. So, I mean, I ain't complaining about that. I just feel like the writing for Lady Vengeance was a little bit... It was a little bit off in some areas. I liked some of it, but I also felt like other stuff was kind of poorly executed. She started off with a lot of promise for me, but I kind of felt like she kind of went downhill as we continued. So that's a big flaw I have with this season. Now, you want to talk about the biggest flaw I have with Resurrection, and I don't care what the fuck people say. I've seen this shit be talked about like it's the best thing since sliced bread, and I honestly don't understand it. The Gemini Killer twin twist. I do not like this twist at all, and I'm going to tell you why I don't like this twist. Listen, the actor, incredible. The storyline, fucking stupid. I mean, you got Dexter that literally kills him in his apartment. He tries to hide the body in the bathroom or whatever, in the shower and stuff. Blessing almost catches him, which I did like the intensity of that. But I did not enjoy the way that they told his character. The way that he was dead at one moment, you think he got him, which was really underwhelming considering the way that they advertised Gemini Killer online. And this is one of the things that really annoys me about it, is that they said that this would be the best damn character since the Trinity Killer. Bull fucking shit he is. He's not even fucking a quarter as good as Trinity Killer. It's not even close. Honestly, man, honestly, it's an embarrassment, Kyle. It's an embarrassment, But anyway, I did not like that shit. I did not like Gemini Killer. I thought it was fucking stupid. And on top of that, they then feel the need to bring in a twin for some odd reason. And then kill him off in episode 7. Like, what the fuck was the point of that whole thing? Like, you bring in a character that you overhype, you kill him off, and then all of a sudden you bring in a twin brother, which is already a stretch as it is, but then you bring in a twin brother, and then all of a sudden, he's dead in the next episode. It's like, what the fuck was even the point of that shit? Like, I don't understand it. You want to talk about the number one thing that pissed me off this season? It was that. That shit fucking sucked. Everything to do with Gemini Killer fucking sucked for me. I could not stand it. The actor did a great job, but the writing was awful. I did not like the twin twist. I didn't like Dexter killing him. I didn't like how quick it was. I didn't like anything to do with that. So, Gemini Killer was a big old fail. Lady Vengeance had some things to her. Gemini was a flop. I did not like him at all. Now, there obviously also is Lowell. Lowell I liked because he kind of was what he was. He was a guest star for one episode. And they advertised him as such, so I get that one completely. Lowell was a good character, and I like that he found out that Dexter was the Bay Harbor Butcher right as he died, you know what I mean? And he was like, fuck! That was pretty good. And then I liked Al as well. Al was really good. I thought he was an interesting character, kind of like the funny, wholesome one, and then you kind of find out, maybe not so wholesome. He's kind of a fucking psycho, killing women in the park and shit like that, And I like how he said, he's like, I made sure to put the camera on, safety first, I love Al, man, I can't lie, he's really funny. He was really good. Now, the interesting thing is about Al compared to these other characters is that actually he got away from Dexter. He did not die this season. So I honestly do applaud the writers for doing something original, honestly, because they always kill their villains at the end of every season. That's like a status quo for Dexter, which is something I hope they break out of, honestly. I kind of hope that they break out of that trend because it is predictable now that the villains are going to die in the finale, you know what I'm saying? So maybe try to break that a little bit more, I think would be kind of a good idea for the writers going forward. But yeah, Al and Lowell, I thought they worked very good, and then obviously Charlie and Leon. Now, let's talk about Charlie and Leon. Now, Charlie, I really liked. I liked how they showed the storyline with her mother, and how this is kind of, Leon's leverage over her, which makes sense, right? I also did enjoy how we kind of had Leon that kind of had that kind of holding over her head, and then Dexter kind of finds out about it later on when he's about to strangle her, and he's kind of like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, maybe you're not so bad. Now, let's talk about, honestly, the greatest episode of this entire season, and one of my favorite episodes of Dexter of all time, Touched by an Angel. Now, over the course of this season, Batista is trying to track him down. He's talking with Claudette. He's trying to make a case that Dexter's the Bay Harbor Butcher. He's really doing anything he can. And one of my favorite scenes of this season is when he's in the car and he looks at him. He's like, yeah, you really think I'm just going to back off, And Dexter parks the car and he looks at him dead in the eyes. And he's like, if I really am who you think I am, then this can't possibly end well for you. And it's like, holy shit, one of my favorite scenes of this season. That shit was fucking nuts. And obviously, it all comes to a head in 9. He sticks his head in something that he really shouldn't have, and he finds out about Leon, and he finds out about what Dexter's, involved in. And unfortunately, after losing his badge, after looking insane, he has absolutely nothing left. So what does he resort to? Going to Leon himself and figuring out what the hell is going on. Unfortunately, that was the last decision he was ever able to make, and a really bad one at that. He unfortunately got himself caught and, put on Brian Moser's table, which is insane. So obviously, Leon, having this massive vault of his that has a bunch of old things that Dexter had, like the table that he killed Brian on, like the blood slides that he used to have. I mean, there's a bunch of old material in this, you know what I'm saying? And it comes down to a head, and Leon, man, I mean, this is when I knew this villain was absolutely mental. The way he, was laughing about it, the way he put, the earmuffs on Batista's head, like, he was like, oh, like, the actor really brought his all, man. Leon was insane. Like, I kind of felt like he was minor at first, and then as the season progressed, he really, really came into his own, and he really was a huge character by the time the season ended, Now, let's talk about the death of Batista, because this is one of the biggest things that we have seen on Dexter of all time. I don't know how many videos I've done on Angel Batista, but I've done a lot over the last few weeks, and it does not get any easier. Even doing this full season review now, it does not get any easier. That is one of the toughest scenes I've ever had to watch of anything, honestly. The way that he dies with Leon shooting him, and the fact that Dexter breaks him out, he gets him off the table and tries to run away with him, just for Batista to stay and stick to his guns and tackle Dexter at the very moment he can. He doesn't care what else is going on in the room. He was going to kill Dexter. You can tell. He was done. He was like, this is for Maria LaGuardia, this is for Dokes, this is for Deb, this is for everybody. And unfortunately, Leon gets him. And it's really fucking sad. And you'll never forget those last lines, man. I mean, he's sitting there saying, listen, I may have gotten them killed, but I didn't kill them. You know what I mean? And Batista just looks at him with sorrow, and he's like, Dexter Morgan, And you could tell that was the last moment of, I'm dying in front of my brother figure here. You know what I mean? And then he looks at him, he realizes what he really is, and he looks at him, and he's like, Dexter Morgan, fuck you, Damn. I mean, honestly, you don't get a more satisfying death than that. Now, I have heard some people say that they do wish that maybe they could have lasted longer with Batista, maybe have his character go into Season 2. I do agree that maybe they could have had him go on longer, but at least in terms of the way he died and the scene itself, absolute cinema. It's like those memes. Absolute cinema, So, I mean, yeah, I love it. I thought it was great. I thought they handled it very well. And honestly, I was on the edge of my seat. That is one of the most intense, absolutely mental episodes I've ever seen of Dexter. Touched by an Angel is a top-tier Dexter episode for me. I absolutely loved it. Now, in terms of the end of the season, we got obviously a little bit more with Harrison's girlfriend, this new GB girl, I think is her name, or some crap like that. We've got, obviously, the death of Leon Prater, which I thought was really good. The finale, to me, it felt a little bit quick. It felt a little bit fast, and it felt a little bit rushed. I did like it. I liked where the story ended up. I liked that Charlie got out. I liked that Dexter killed Prater. I thought that was all good. I did not like how long he was in the vault for. I felt like that really dragged its feet after a while. But I did enjoy seeing Brian Moser in there. I thought that was good. I thought that the overall kind of finale and the way the season ended with him on the boat, dumping off the body, like, it was really good. I really liked seeing it. I also like how the boat was called the Getaway Boat. I thought that was pretty interesting as well. Yeah, I mean, in terms of kind of the overall season, where it kind of lands for me, I would say this. I think fans saying that it's a 10 out of 10 definitely overrate it. I don't think it's perfect, but I think it's honestly really great. It's a great season. And honestly, the Gemini Killer, a little bit of the disappointment with the Mia character, Lady Vengeance, and the way that they answered Angela's disappearance, in addition to obviously the finale feeling a little bit rushed for me, but still a good finale overall. I still liked it. My overall rating for Dexter Resurrection, and I'm very confident in this rating because I think it's a strong rating, but it's also fair enough with some of the flaws that the season did still have, because I did still think the season had flaws. I will give this season an 8.5 out of 10. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Do I think it's as perfect as everybody says it is? I don't think it is, unfortunately, no. But I loved a lot more than I didn't, and I would say an 8.5 is still a very strong. That's an 85%, you know what I'm saying? I really enjoyed the season. I think overall the villains were great, besides Gemini and, Lady Vengeance. I enjoyed Harrison a lot. This is without a doubt the best season of Harrison's character. It's also the best season for Angel Batista, in my opinion, in the franchise. There was a lot of characters at their best this season. Dexter, I wouldn't say it's his best season. I think he's definitely had better seasons, but it was a good season for him. I did like him this season a lot. I loved Blessing. I loved, Leon Prater, Charlie. I mean, they really had some stellar characters this season. They really did. So that's my overall thoughts on Dexter Resurrection Season 1. I would overall give it a 8.5 out of 10. I think that's definitely where I'm going to land with that one. I think that's a good spot to leave it at. And, I'm excited for what's to come. I'm excited for Season 2, and it eventually happens, probably at some point next year. And I'm really excited for the future of this show, because I think it's looking really bright. So, that is my thoughts, my overall review for Season 1 of Dexter Resurrection. Let me know how you felt about it, and what would you rate it out of 10 for Dexter Resurrection. So, if you're new to the channel, guys, and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click subscribe and so you don't miss any of the videos. Make sure to follow me on Dan's Reviews Official on Instagram, guys, and of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos for Dexter Resurrection. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.
Born in the dark alleys, city of concrete. Dan's reviews blowing up, never taste defeat. Walking Dead dissected every plot twist beat. World gone mad, TV junkies hit a treat. Typing up scripts, marathon through the night. His opinions hit harder than a street fight scene. Every episode, brain sharper than a knife. He's the beacon of critique, shedding TV light.